This is Remix Report with your hosts, DJ JD and DJ J Spring. For the date of
June 30th, 2010.
Welcome to episode 68 of Remix Report. I'm DJ JD.
I'm DJ J Spring, and we kind of wore the same clothing. I know he changed his hat from the last episode. This, you know what? This shirt is actually the same shirt that I wore in the DJ Sprite interview. But I don't know if you remember this. We were at the restaurant in Miami. You remember what happened to my shirt?
No.
I sat in the chair that had gum on the back, and I had the gum on the back of my shirt. It's not. No, it's not the same shirt. I'm a baller, and I threw that shirt away.
That's right.
And I bought a new shirt, replacement shirt.
The same shirt. Who does that?
J Spring.
Crazy. In
other news, welcome to Remix Report.
And today we're going to talk about classic trance tracks from back around 2000, 2001. Back when like house and trance was kind of getting mainstream and the whole rave scene was big. That was back right when I was getting out of high school and stuff, and it was pretty fun. Right when I was getting into DJing, and it was a fun time.
This was actually when I had my first decent gig, and I was doing Husky Blues, which was like the biggest club at UConn, and it was mostly a hip hop spot. And I think I was just telling JD the first house / techno. I kind of called it techno back then. I think everyone called it techno back then. I ever played was like Kernkraft and Sandstorm, and it was kind of weird for me. I don't even want to hear what I used to do to get to up to 135, 138 BPM back then. I know it wasn't pretty, but
no, it wasn't. Yeah, because all this stuff is really between 130 and 140 beats per minute. That really upbeat house range, and yeah, it was all called techno. And I hate it when people call house techno these days because it's just not the same.
No.
But getting into some of the songs, let's see, I Turn to You by Melanie C, Silence by Delerium, that was with McLachlan, that was huge back in the day. There's also some newer remixes of that are really dope. Castles in the Sky by Ian Van Dahl.
And that's probably one that you can still get away with bringing back for a more commercial crowd.
I bring it back every now and then. It definitely, if it's a lot of girls, girls really react to this stuff still, especially if they're in the late 20, early 30 range, because this is like back in their heyday. So
kind of along the same lines as Heaven by DeeJay Sammy.
Absolutely. Of course, the Louis DeVito New York City Underground CDs were huge back then, and one of my favorite tracks from those, which is a really good summer track still, is Dive in the Pool by Barry Harris. Has a really cool breakdown, and then hits you really hard. And probably the most classic of them all, Sandstorm by Darude.
There's a remix I've always wanted to talk about on the site, but we kind of have kept our self-promotion minimal. But JD did a really, really sick remix. Mo Money, Mo Problems over Sandstorm. I think it's called Sandstorm Problems.
Yeah. And
is that out on, was it on DJ City? Have you put it there yet?
I think so.
I think you did too. I know it's definitely on Crack for DJs.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys check that out. To me, that's an instant classic. You did a really good job with that.
Thank you. I appreciate
with
that.
that remix, and that's only 128 BPM.
It's actually over a Sandstorm remix, newer remix of Sandstorm. I think it kills it every time. But.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. You might not think, when I first heard JD told me he did this remix, I said Mo Money, Mo Problems and Sandstorm. I was like, really? And then I heard it, and I pretty much had the same reaction as everyone else does, and that's wow, and it sounds amazing.
Thanks.
So check that out.
Thank you, Spring. Another Darude track is Feel the Beat.
It kind of actually has the same kind of feel as Sandstorm. It was, I guess they tried to do what a lot of hip-hop acts do, is you come up with a formula that's a hit, and then you try to keep that formula going. And that was kind of a hit back then, too.
I think the runner-up for classic of that era is Zombie Nation by Kernkraft 400. That still gets crazy reaction.
It does. I think a lot of the sporting events have kept that song alive.
Yeah.
And thinking back to when I used to do UConn back then, I think the two biggest songs over that span, probably Ante Up by MOP. They used to go bananas to that, and I think maybe Kernkraft might be right up there with that. Yeah.
That's one hell of a difference between those two.
It is, but Those are the 2 tracks I can remember from that 2-year stretch.
Both dope.
Yeah.
Let's see, The Launch by DJ Jean. I don't know how to pronounce that, but then of course there's what everybody calls Bloodbath from the Blade movie. The song is actually called Confusion by New Order. You can always find it by Bloodbath.
Make sure you go back and you check our classic remixes that we've done. We usually do that every Monday. Check out what DJ Nova did with that.
Yeah.
What's the name of Nova's track?
Lil Jon Gets Warped.
Lil Jon Gets Warped, right? That's that uses that track, and he added Lil Jon to it, obviously, and it's a club classic.
Another is Blood is Pumping by Voodoo and Serano. Really like that track too. Kind of has a similar vibe. Better Off Alone by Alice DJ. Always works well.
And that's one that you can still play. I know a lot of people on Clan and Crack and a lot of the remix sites have used that beat for some new mashes, and if you put it in key, it actually they usually do come out pretty good. I like Diggs that he did with Right Now. The A-Con over that one.
Yeah. Let's see, I See Right Through You by DJ Encore featuring Engelina. That was also really big. Derb. So the song is Derb. The group is Derb. You know it if you heard it for sure. Hide You by Kosheen. This was kind of faster. It's more of a drum and bass tempo, but it still keeps that same trance feel and is a really dope vocal. Around the World by ATC, and Stranger in My House, a Thunderpuss remix by Tamia.
So this is really when house first started getting more commercials, kind of made its way to the commercial clubs. And because of that, it's kind of a little period where people remember the songs from that little age in techno / house music. So a lot of these, like we mentioned, you can still bring back, and there's been a lot of remixes of these tracks since when they were first released, and I think a lot of the remixes have brought the BPM down slightly, because we all know that 138 BPM range can be a little awkward sometimes.
But actually, I did a little set with this last Friday, actually, at Shrine, and it went over really well. It was probably the highlight of the night, I would say, and it was really fun to see that. And then you can always go into your like slower hip hop or older hip hop. Like we always used to mix "What's Your Fantasy" by Ludacris with all this stuff, and it still sounds great, works great. So it's a good way to transition from your 128 house to your 70 BPM hip hop and things like that. So
let us know if we forgot any tracks, which I'm sure we might have forgotten one or two. We were talking before this, and this was also the time, some of the house tracks we used to play. We used to play Bob Marley's Sun is Shining. Daft Punk actually came out with One More Time around that period, but we wanted to keep this list mostly kind of trance and heavier stuff, so we didn't include those. But just let us know pretty much what you were playing around that time. Register, leave a comment, or email us, remixreport@gmail.com.
Remixreport.com